Shabbat Shalom. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to share what this temple means to me and to my family. And to explain it, I need to give you some personal history. Both of my grandfathers were born in Iran just over a century ago. My mom's father was a doctor, trained in Tehran, Paris, and London. My dad's father was born in the small town of Kashan and had to leave school as a young boy to feed his family. Most of his education consisted of Torah study with the elders of the community. Despite their very different backgrounds, my grandfathers shared a commitment to giving their children the best education, so they sent their teenage kids to America for school. When my parents married here in Los Angeles and had kids of their own, they sent us all to Jewish day school. There, we could get a strong secular education, as our maternal grandfather had, and also study Torah, as our paternal grandfather had. What I learned from my parents' and grandparents' example was that our responsibility was to invest in a great Jewish education for our children, and that our grandchildren would be the ones to receive the return on that investment when our children did the same for them, and so on through the generations. So when my husband Remy and I got engaged, I told him that I didn't care how big a home we lived in, or what kind of car we drove, or where we bought our clothes. All I wanted was for our future children to get the best Jewish day school education LA had to offer. We ended up living near Stephen Wise and sent our first daughter, Sophie, to preschool here. It was a beautiful and happy place for a little girl to grow up. Sophie's sisters, Eve and Hannah, followed her to Wise. All three girls went on to enjoy a great elementary school education here. Even so, we still didn't really think of Wise as our temple. We were longtime members of another temple, too, and we continued to go to services there with our family for several more years. But finally, one year, we decided to give high holiday services at Wise a try. It was a great experience for all of us. Our kids loved celebrating the holidays with their friends, and so did we. We also were exposed to the wisdom and spirituality of the clergy and learned about the rich opportunities that were available to us as members. We seized those opportunities by participating in classes, joining groups like Wise Hearts, and by simply approaching the clergy just to get to know them better. Before long, Wise wasn't just a school for our daughters anymore. Wise had become our community too. We had no idea that securing a Jewish education for our children would affect our lives so profoundly. We thought it was just our job to pay it forward. But our investment in a Jewish education for our kids started paying tangible dividends to me and to Remy well before grandchildren were ever on the horizon. And the rewards keep coming. Ever since her bat mitzvah, Sophie's been invited to read Torah in this sanctuary on Rosh Hashanah. Eve fell in love with Cantor Emma while participating in Wise Temple Youth, and this high holiday season, Cantor Emma gave her the honor of chanting the Haftarah. Of course, the girls' grandparents come to watch them sing, proudly collecting the return on their investment. Even though our older daughters have graduated from Wise School, our relationships here continue to flourish. Clergy and school staff have joined us in times of celebration and sorrow at this temple, in our home, and even in Israel. When we lost my brother-in-law suddenly last year, they were all there for us. Rabbi Yoshi and Tammy Weiser, our head of school, dropped everything on a Monday morning in May with almost no notice and came to the funeral. That same night, Rabbi Yoshi spoke from his heart at Shiva services as we were surrounded by so many members of this congregation. He later visited Remy's grieving parents at their home to help console them. And Rabbi Stern checked in on us and assured us of the temple's support in the months that followed. They are cherished friends to our entire extended family. Our passion for Wise led Remy and me to make a 5-year commitment to the Wise School Endowment. Through our experience here, we now know that our investment in Wise is not just the fulfillment of our commitment to our children, even though that would have been enough for us. And our investment will not only benefit the children and grandchildren of other members of this community, even though that would have been enough for us. WISE has also already given profound gifts back to me, to Remy, to our parents, and to the other adults in this special community. WISE has given us all another home, a place of warmth and fulfillment, of opportunity, and of joy. And that is more than enough for us. I hope you'll join Remy and me by generously supporting this remarkable community through your charitable giving. I wish you all a good and sweet new year. Gmar Chatima Tova.